What's up, everybody? It is your doctor, Dr. Remy LeBeau, here once again in the X Layer to provide you with the treatment that you've been requiring to help you sleep at night, to help you uh, deal with your withdrawal symptoms from just not having enough X-Men statues in your life. It's a difficult situation for you, and I'm here to help. Today's treatment is a very recent innovation in X-Men statue withdrawal syndrome. Uh, it is the original costume Angel statue produced by Bowen Designs in a museum pose. It's a very impressive statue. You can see it here. It's actually the third statue released in the line of the original X-Men design statues that have been intermittently sneaked, released, in the pipeline to be released uh, over the last maybe couple of years. The first one being original costume Cyclops, which I may or may not have posted yet. I don't know if I have yet. I've got Marvel Girl as well, Jeannie. What's up, Jeannie? Oh, here she is back here. Jean! And I have also posted on my blog that the Beast statue in of the original costume is actually coming out very soon. It's shipping soon. According to Bowen Design's website, it is on its way in probably June. Right now, it's around either the end of May or beginning of June, depending on when I post this video. But and I actually may have Beast already by the time this goes up, so you can just disregard everything I've just said. Obviously, I'm shooting stuff, but I'm not putting it all up at once because I want to kind of take my time with stuff. I want to make sure things get done properly and I don't rush things. Anyway, so and then finally, of course, there's the Iceman statue, which is going to be released. Probably, it's already in the pipeline to be released, but it'll probably come out maybe later in the year, probably closer to the end of the year, and that'll finish off the set. And that one is kind of like the snowy, like kind of less refined Iceman figure, which is going to be actually a variant on the X Factor Clear Iceman that's also in the pipeline to be released. And it's just going to be an interesting sort of version of that statue. I look forward to getting all of them. The more Iceman, the better. I have 3 Iceman statues coming. Bring them on, Bowen. Bring them on. All right, so let's take another gander at this very cool piece. I mean, obviously, the thing that stands out the most are the wings. I've taken some close-ups of the sort of the feathers designed that are sort of embedded throughout the wings, which make them a very impressive set of wings. Like, uh, I'm not a big fan of Angel in his original form, just because I just don't. I thought he was kind of like square looking and not that cool. Um, but and I only got this because I decided I'm gonna get the entire set of the original X-Men just to kind of pay homage to the roots of like my favorite characters. But the designs aren't that interesting to me. They're not that exciting. Obviously, they changed a lot throughout the years and became a lot cooler. Um, and I when I started reading comics, he was already Archangel. He had the metallic wings that were techno organic and shot like freaking daggers and like were alive, and it was all related to Apocalypse, and it was all very cool and kind of dark and interesting. More interesting than obviously the original design of the character and his wings, him just having wings. So like I remember when X3, the movie X3 was coming out, and one of the big like marketing things was like, we've got Angel. Look, there's a guy with wings. He's flying around. And I was just like, unless you're gonna turn him into Archangel, not that exciting to me. It's just a dude with some wings flying around. I mean, I remember watching Flash Gordon, like that movie that came out, I think in the late 70s or early 80s, which had the Queen soundtrack, and it had like that whole species of this whole race of aliens that all had wings and they were all like warriors, and it was really cool. I mean that's as cool as you can get, I think, with winged characters, and like he just kind of flew around. I don't know. It never really seemed that menacing to me, or I mean, aside from the fact that he's able to fly, I mean, it's just kind of like it just didn't do much for me as far as like a power goes. But anyway, let's look at some interesting information about this statue, shall we? So there are 500 of these in existence. It was released in 2012, And it was sculpted by Mike Cusinelli. Of course, it was sculpted by Mike Cusinelli because Mike Cusinelli does really great work. And you know what? This came out really great. Like it's not like I said again, it's not the most exciting design of Angel, but it's a really exciting statue of Angel in this design. Mike Cusinelli obviously paid a hell of a lot of attention to what he was doing in regards to the wings, and they really stand out quite a bit in the display of currently only the three X Men I have. Like they really stand out and kind of set him apart as Angel, as not only Angel the character, but just like this sort of larger than life figure that visually is distinctly different from the other characters. And it's cool because beyond that, I mean, all the costume elements are pretty much the same throughout the characters. Like we've got the yellow boots, we've got the blue, which is kind of like a very dark blue, almost black um, rest of the costume. That's I guess is maybe like a body suit that goes under these elements, like the boots and the gloves and like the grandpa shorts. Um, so this is they're all pretty similar across the board for all the characters. They've got the X belt and they've got like kind of this yellow shirt element mixed in with the rest of this like dark blue bodysuit that obviously also has like a head head portion that covers the head. So I mean, like I said, the design isn't too exciting, but it's cool. It's interesting, and it's interesting in a three-dimensional form. You know, most heroes are interesting in three-dimensional forms. Most superheroes, most comic book characters are interesting. So even the original X-Men design is going to have like that interesting quality. Um, Mike Cusinelli again did a really nice job on everything. Like the physique is very nice. It's like nice and simple, but um, it's uh, it's well proportioned. It's like streamlined. There aren't any weird parts to it. I I mean, it's incredible that this was done by traditional sculpting means because everything is just so perfectly done. Everything's smoothed out. All the musculature is proper. It's just great. Like the guy is a master of both the female form and obviously the male form as well. So anatomy, bodies, like the guy does a great job, and the face is great as well. Like he's kind of like he's got this like I don't know. I guess he kind of has like this youthful look on his face where it's like it's not very aggressive. It's not very sort of self-actualized. Like he doesn't really believe in himself 100%, but he's not afraid either because he's being trained by obviously the Xavier School. So oh, and then another cool thing you can kind of see like the ear out, like the ear impressions, like where the ears are. I guess just, I mean, that's really nice touch, you know. Like, I mean, again, Mike Cusinelli, great guy, knows what he's doing. The base is like the silver X base. It's very similar to the one that Jean has, and Cyclops is a little different. Cyclops is that extended base where it's like the X base, but it's got that little extra sort of platform for the other leg so that he can have like a wider stance. So the bases are slightly different, but the colors are pretty consistent. So I mean, as a set, they look very nice, and I'll eventually post a photo of the entire set when I get all of them in, and you can see how nicely they work together. Um, so what's this? There's been some really cool stuff. It's interesting that this set is being released right now because the original X-Men, the original 5 X-Men are playing a very crucial role. So right now it's about 2013, roughly June, and the original 5 X-Men have been playing a crucial role in the recent stories with Brian Michael Bendis bringing the original 5 into the present in the all new X-Men series, all new X-Men Volume 1. Um, and it's really interesting. Like you're seeing sort of the X-Men of today through the eyes of the original 5 X-Men. The interactions are really interesting. It's sort of up in the air as to like what is going to happen. You have Cyclops who has left the X-Men, who has become kind of like a rebel, and he's starting kind of like a revolution. And he's got Magneto with him and Magic, Piotr Rasputin's sister, Iliana Rasputin. He's got Emma Frost. Now he's got the Cuckoos with him, and he's got some other kids that he just recruited. And so he went to the school. I think it was like issue 7 or 8 or something. He went to the school and he basically announced to the school like, the Jean Grey School for Gifted Youngsters, which is where like Wolverine and Storm and I think Rogue, like the other X-Men are at the school now, and they're just kind of running a school, and Kitty's there, and so Cyclops and his group went to the school and basically announced to them like, "Hey, we're not here to fight. We just want to get the word out that we have also started a school, and if you're interested in coming with me, please come with me." And that's when the Cuckoos went with him, which the Cuckoos are like these. They're kind of like, I think they're clones of Emma Frost. I'm not completely sure about that, the sort of roots of their characters, because I wasn't reading when they were introduced, but I need to go back and kind of fill in those continuity gaps. But they have become part of like Cyclops' school now, and at the same time, Mr. Warren Worthington here, the young Warren Worthington that was brought into the present by Beast. Actually, Beast is the one that brought, and Beast is also the Jean Grey School. Beast brought them into the present. Um, he actually decided to go with Cyclops as well. So one of the original five X-Men, Angel, has actually gone with Cyclops and Magneto and has joined their little pack of who knows what. I don't know how all this is going to play out yet, but I mean that's a really interesting sort of situation because it makes him more interesting, like him, like the younger Angel, because like I said, he wasn't ever really that interesting, but I think him coming into the present and kind of not completely being told what happened to him throughout the years, because right now like his current version of himself is like this regenerated Warren who's kind of who was a blank slate essentially, because via the Dark Angel saga, spoiler alert, he is killed, and sort of like regenerated, like brand new. Like he's like a brand new person. He doesn't have his memories, or maybe he's starting to get them back. He has the techno organic wings, but he's just a completely different person than who he was before. And so to him, like to this Warren, like it's just completely mesmerizing to imagine that he would eventually wind up becoming that person that he's met, and without anybody really explaining to him what happened to him, it just kind of terrified him. And so his way of dealing with it was like just getting away from the whole situation. So he's gone with Cyclops. It's interesting. It's interesting. We're gonna find out exactly what happened to him. But I mean, as we all know, so in this issue here, Warren Worthington is introduced as Archangel after the mutant massacre, in which a bunch of Morlocks were massacred by Sinister's marauders. Uh, in this issue, and Angel gets caught up in that. His wings get cut off. He gets super depressed, like he's suicidal. Blah blah blah. Um, Apocalypse gets a hold of him and promises him new wings. And this is the issue, X Factor number 24, which was released in 1988, January of 1988. In this issue is um, we see Archangel for the first time as Death, as Apocalypse's Death, because Death has the horsemen of his Apocalypse, and he's got like four of them, and after giving Warren his wings, he kind of brainwashes him and turns him into Death. And here's like the first panel when he's introduced, and it's freaking awesome, and it's one of my favorite stories. Um, so this happens. Eventually, he is, you know, he like regains control of himself, but maintains like the techno organic wings and like the look that Apocalypse gives him. So he's Archangel for many years, and then in Uncanny X-Men number 338, which is in November of '96. So this is 8 years ago. In this issue, he actually, I forget exactly what happens in it, but he regrows his wings here. Like his wings grow back here, and so he maintains like the blue skin, but he actually has his natural wings back. This is a comic that was drawn by Joe Mad. Joe Mad signed it. Hello, Joe Mad. Love you. Um, this is like a really cool comic. I loved it. I loved when I read it. I loved when it came out. But I was kind of sad that like Angel didn't have his techno organic wings back anymore. Um, but I liked that the character was evolving. Obviously, it's always fun to see characters evolve. He was still more interesting than this version of Angel here, because he had like the blue face, and he also kind of had like kind of like that whole apocalypse pedigree to deal with. So things got really interesting again for a while, and then the super interesting moment was here in September of 2008. Here's X Force number 5, in which he is reintroduced again as Archangel, and this time it's a little different. Like his costume's a little different. Um, it's obviously black and silver, which looks a lot cooler than the other one. And one really cool thing is that you can kind of tell like these covers are kind of like that cover was kind of drawn after like the original introduction of Archangel. So it's a nice sort of homage to the original introduction of Archangel. But here he is, he's back in as being Archangel, but at this time it's different in that he can like just switch back and forth from being sort of the I'm pretty sure he was blue faced with natural wings, and when he wanted to, he wound up turning into this guy with the techno organic wings. But then he would turn back, and then that eventually led to him like turning super evil and becoming like Apocalypse's heir. And I mean, it's just there's so many interesting things that went on with Angel throughout the years, and is still going on. Obviously, now that all that happened to him is over, as far as like this transformation and him becoming Apocalypse and blah blah blah, and him now becoming like this blank slate. Now like his original version is like driving some of the most interesting stories. So really, Angel has become like the heart of some of the most interesting stories in the X-Men universe, which is awesome. Love it. All right, folks. I think that's pretty much covers it. I'm gonna give him one last twirl, and you can see he's just like actually a very nice statue and looks great with like the rest of the X-Men. So as a set, I think they're going to be very impressive, and because the original X-Men have become so relevant again, that's just another great reason to sort of go after these. If you're a fan of X-Men and current X-Men and original X-Men, there's just a lot of reason to go after these. If you've got the ability to do so, I recommend doing so. My printer's acting up. All right, folks. That pretty much covers it. Thank you so much for checking out this video and my blog. My blog is X-Men Statues of Future Past .blogspot.com. My YouTube channel is Dr. Remy LeBeau's X-Lair. And as always, X in the box, 'cause ain't nobody checking me. I'll catch y'all soon. Take care of yourselves, and goodbye.